In today's video, I'm going to have a go at making Cringer from He-Man. I'm going to be using a modelling paste. The one I use is called the Saraceno pasta model. So it's a bit like a gum paste. It is an edible medium this. This one comes in ready colours and I'm lazy so I can't be bothered dyeing my own. So I'm going to mix the two shades of green that they have together for this. Also, guys, I do have a discount code for any of the Saraceno products. I'll put it on screen. It gets you 10% off if you do want to use it. I'll put a link below the video as well. Now, for the body, I didn't wait, so I apologize, guys. I've got no kind of weights for this, but I took a large piece, kind of sausage shape, and then pushed a little bit in the middle, and then kind of pulled the top bit, which will become the neck, a little bit thinner, trying to kind of put a flat little area on the top there so that the head will kind of fit onto that. Although later I decided to kind of extend the neck a little bit longer than what I've got it here anyway. So the bottom bit, which is pretty chunky compared to the top, I'm just going to put a couple of lines in, kind of going from the bottom, not quite in the middle at the bottom, and we're bringing it kind of up and arched and round, smoothing it out with my fingers and then kind of pulling them out to the side. So this would be like the top of his back legs. Just going to put a bit more definition on here. Now, how many of you guys have heard of Cringer? Now, I love Cringer because I used to watch He-Man all the time. When I put pictures of him in the making on my social media accounts, not many people knew who he was, or they said he was Battlecat. And I think, as long as I remember this correct, he becomes Battlecat when He-Man kind of, lifts up his sword and or when Adam lifts up his sword and transforms to He-Man. Then Cringer transforms to Battlecat, who's like a brave cat. But before he transforms, he's kind of a bit more cowardly as Cringer, which I think is why he's called Cringer. Okay, so his legs. We're just going to roll 2 sausages and we're going to kind of just press above the foot area, kind of bending that foot over. Just going to put a little bit of definition in with my Dresden tool. I'm just going to thin them at the top. I'll try and create like a bit of a diagonal. The body will kind of sit into, hopefully it'll sit into later. Okay. And I'm going to press in like a little elbow joint and just bend that there. Try and press it to a bit of a point on the back of that elbow. It might not be an elbow on a cat, I'm not sure. I apologize. I don't know what you call all the different body parts. I'm presuming it's an elbow. So put a couple of little lines in so it looks a little bit more like fur. You can see that for the side. If you want, you can use some scissors and cut into it. These are nail scissors, but I do only ever use them for cake decorating. So I have a few pairs that I bought specifically for just cake decorating. Please don't just pick up your actual nail scissors and use them if you've used them on your nails. Okay, so we've got 2, trying to get them as close as I can to match into each other. And I want them to kind of fit in. Can you see that gap there? So they might have to bend a little bit more, but that's whereabouts they are going to go. So before I stick them on, let's put in some little toes. So I'm just pressing a little dot in the kind of the top of where each toe will go. And then I'm going to kind of push a line from that dot down towards the underside of the foot. I don't have to make sure it looks okay underneath because we're not going to see the underneath on this one. And then let's put some little crease lines in that kind of elbow joint. I kind of wish I'd made him out of something that wasn't edible so I could keep him longer now. Like even these that I make out modelling paste, they do actually last quite a few years. They sometimes fade a bit in the sun and you have to be careful they don't get wet or damp. But I kind of wish I'd made him in polymer clay or something because I like Cringer and I'd like to keep him a while. So once the toes are in, I just put little marks in ready for where the nails will go into. And he needs feet on the back as well. So I'm rolling 2 little kind of oval, not quite oval shapes, are they? Like a giant tic-tac shape. Squishing down one side because that squished bit I can stick underneath the body. And then we're just going to put those toes on again. I just went straight in with the Dresden tool. I didn't bother putting a little dot in like I did with the other ones. Now I'm cutting one toe off on this side because there wasn't enough space to squeeze it in. Can you see there? So it's just got 3 toes on this side. We're going to pretend one of the toes is hidden behind his front leg. And then we'll push the other one on there. And I've just stuck them on with water. You can use edible glue if you prefer. Let's get those little lines in. You don't have to put, can you see this little mark I'm putting in with the wide end of my Dresden tool? You don't have to put that in. It gives me a little indentation that I can insert the nail into. But then I realized you don't always see a cat's nails, do you? Like a tiger's nails? Do they only come out when they're going to like attack or scratch something? I don't know. Anyway, he's going to have nails. The next bit we're going to work on is his head. So I'm starting with a ball, but then I want to kind of pull it out slightly at each side, which would be kind of the area where the fur on like his kind of edge of his jaw would be, I guess, or the sides of his face, but keep it down near the bottom. And then to pull out kind of the nose area, I'm going to pull it down. I'll press in with a just paintbrush handle. You can use your finger if you prefer. Now, I've just pushed in little areas for the eyes, just with my fingers, and then I'm going to try and just snip a little triangle of green here that we can lift up, and then that can go above kind of the nose or muzzle area, which I'll stick on in a lighter green colour shortly. There we go. So we've got a ball of lighter green. All I did was add a little bit of white to some of the existing green to make that colour. So I can spend quite a while on these, kind of playing around with the shapes. I want his kind of brow area to kind of lift. And then let's just press in on this muzzle area. So I'm trying to get a line that goes down the middle, but don't go too far down because we want him to have like a big chin area. I'm going to go out to each side. And I want to kind of pull it downwards at the edges. Kind of like, I'm looking at my dog while I'm doing this for like the big floppy jowl area. I don't know what it's called. At the edge of their lips, and it kind of turns down. And I think it kind of does this a bit on a cat. I don't think it does this on the Battlecat in the 80s cartoon. But, you know, mine's not an exact copy of that one. It's kind of my own take on him. I called him Battlecat. I meant Cringer. We can call him either. That's fine, as long as you guys know who I mean. How many of you guys watched He-Man? This is probably where I can tell the age of my audience by whether you did or didn't watch He-Man when you were younger. Or maybe you weren't that young when He-Man was out. I don't know. Okay, so I'm pressing in the eye area. I stand with a ball tool, and then I'm swapping to my Dresden tool. Just going to bring a line out kind of each side above the cheeks, hoping that we kind of bring the cheek area out. If, again, that's what we call it on a cat, is it his cheeks? Okay, I'm just going to press in a little bit where I want the nose to go. And I think this bit above the nose, you know, that I cut out, it just doesn't stick out enough. So I'm just going to add an additional piece of the green, the darker green. And I think we're going to use black for the nose. I think he might actually have a dark green nose, but I'm using black. So I want it to be quite triangular in shape, quite wide, and line down the middle. And then we're just going to push a nostril in at each side.
Hi guys, I'm going to just quickly interrupt this video to put in a little advert for myself on my monthly subscription service. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has joined and been using the videos. I'll put information below the video for anybody that wants to find out more that isn't already a member. You can find the tutorial for this little lady in there this week.
Then I'm going to work on some chest hair for him while the face is just firming up a little bit. So kind of a teardrop shape. I've squished it down a bit, and then we're just going to cut in like some hairlines at the side. So just cutting out little triangles. Now we can stick more pieces of hair on at the front, or if you want to make it quicker, you can just put some lines in like what I am doing. And that will just sit on there like so. So I've stuck it on with some water. Let's just see what his head looks like against it. Now, he's got quite obvious seams just at the top of his arm. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of paste in and just try and rub that in to see if we can smooth it out. I did wet the paste. You can't see on the video, but I did wet the paste to try and help that. Now I'm going to use some little oval shapes to just go over the toes. So his toes are kind of a slightly different colour. The same colour as his chest and his nose is that paler green. It does mean I lose those little marks where like the toenails are going to go, so I'll just push them back in. And then the toenails, I'm going to start with a small oval of black, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And I want, when I've cut it, it to have, can you see a point at the bottom end? And I'm just going to push this in to each of those little gaps that I made on each foot. And then I'm going to go back to his face. I don't think the face is big enough, so I'm actually just going to add extra on. So the modelling paste, it does blend together a little bit to be able to do this, but if you wanted to use modelling chocolate instead of modelling paste like what I have done, it does blend a little bit easier. But I think it works okay for this. So I've pushed it on the cheeks, kind of trying to blend it in the best I can, and then we've put some little hairlines in the edge. It's just made his face a little bit larger. I don't think I had it big enough before. Now Cringer has yellow eyes, so we're going to roll 2 balls or 2 kind of oval-ish shapes for the eyes, stick them in the eye sockets. And then I'm going to just try and roll a thin piece of black to fill in for like the lips inside the mouth. Now I couldn't quite get it in one piece, so I rolled it in more than one piece and just stuck it in. Then the ears, we're just going to roll 2 balls. I'm just going to press my finger in the middle for an indentation. I'm going to fold them slightly, and they are just going to stick on like that. I did play around with the positioning. I didn't know whether to have them stuck up or kind of flopped down, but I felt like flopping them down made him look more like worried or scared. So that's what we've gone for. Now, I did try and put a little bit of pale green edible powder on the edges of sort of the jaw or like his fur that sticks out the side of his face. I did start by trying to brush it on dry. It didn't stick very well, so I did have to just dampen my brush slightly, and it just helped it stick a little bit. I did put a tiny bit on the nose, but you can't really tell because it's kind of the same colour as the nose. And then I just put some underneath the chest hair and then a little bit on the chest hair as well. It was a slightly lighter colour than the chest hair. That's why I just put a little bit on there. Okay, so for the eyes, I've got 2 little ovals. So I rolled the black as thin as I could, and I cut out 2 small ovals, and we're just going to push those in. And then I've got 2 smaller ovals, which were just a ball kind of rolled by hand and squashed in white that we're just going to put in each eye like so. Now, I think I'm going to go around with that lighter green around sort of the eye area, around the outside edge. And then I'm going to stick a really thin piece of black modeling paste on here. Guys, I always use the pre-colored black. Like, you can color up any of the other colors you like, but the black is so much easier to just use it pre-colored. So thin lines all the way around, a little bit can you see on the bottom edge as well. And then he wants his like tiger stripes, which I couldn't tell if they were orange or yellow. They were kind of like a yellowy orange maybe. I'm trying to cut it to a bit of a zigzag. Although I kind of wish I hadn't, and I'd just gone for like a plain roll of it that I just kind of stuck on rather than zigzagging it. So you can see these are the ones I decided not to zigzag them because it was going to make it a little bit quicker for me. I could bend them when they're in place. And then let's cut out 2 tiny pieces for eyebrows, but in black. I couldn't decide whether to give him eyebrows or not, but the cartoon one has eyebrows. And then this bit you can't really see. I wanted to go for like the lighter colour inside the ears, but then actually maybe I should have gone darker so it looked shaded. And then I'm going to take the lighter green and try and roll some individual pieces of hair that just kind of stick out. Can you see the bottom of each ear? I'm going to take some white and add it to the nose a little bit. Not everywhere, just on that top edge, so it looks like the light catching on it. So the powders I'm using are edible powders, guys, as well. I'll put links below the video to what I've used for anyone that is interested. But I've added some water to the powder for those bits that I just painted on the eyes and the nose. He also needs those orange stripes on the body as well. So some on his legs. I'm going to try cut some zigzags into it, but when it's stuck on, it's definitely easier that way. You just have to be careful that you don't press too hard into the green itself. Although my green has firmed pretty quickly, so it doesn't seem to be making a mark on it, which is good. I don't know if the orange stripes look a bit weird, so I thought I would try and outline them. So I've got an edible black pen here. I did try drawing on with the pen itself, but the line was slightly thicker than I wanted. So I took a paintbrush and just rubbed it against the pen nib, like a really fine paintbrush, and then I tried to go around the edges. I very quickly got bored of doing this though, and I wasn't very neat at it, so maybe I should have just gone with the thick lines that were just drawn on. And just darkening just above his nose with a little bit of black edible dust as well. His head, because I've bent the body quite far forward, and you can see at this point I haven't even bothered putting the stripes on his back. I will do that later. But his head, the weight of it won't just attach without anything. So I had to try and add in a couple of wires. I could have used a wooden like kebab skewer or something. I kind of wished I had. I went for the wires so I could move his head around and bend it when it was pushed on in place. But it turned out the wires were too thick and I couldn't bend it anyway. If you're going to eat this, please do not put a wire just straight in your cake topper like that. You could have used something wooden instead. But I'm not going to be eating mine. He's just going to sit on display here at my house on the shelf with my other cake toppers. You see some of them in the background. I needed his neck to be longer, so I didn't push the head fully on, and you can see that I did just fill it with soft modelling paste. So I warmed it up in my hand so it's really soft. Added a little bit of water to it to make it that little bit stickier, and then I just filled in the gap between his head and his body to lengthen that neck. Does mean I need a bit more of the pale green on as well for kind of that chest hair, so that comes down from under his chin down there like so. We'll put some more hairlines in there so that it blends in a bit more with the rest of the chest hair. I'm trying to make them a little bit smaller as I go up the neck. Then I want a tail because I almost forgot about his tail. So just a long thin piece that we're going to push on at the back of the bum. I actually cut that to a slant at the top so it fits a little bit better there, like that against him. I'm going to curl it round. Now this piece is quite fragile, so I think it's best if I push it against him somewhere. So if I press it against like his foot, it's connected in 2 places, making it a bit more secure. Then I'm going to finish doing the stripes. The stripes are the bit that I enjoyed the least on him, which is why you can tell I left some of them till the very end to do. I mean, the tail ones, you could stick them on before you push the tail on itself, but I found it easier to do it this way around. Yeah, like I say, just putting them on at the back. I did try to make them so they weren't all the same size and shape. Okay, so I think he's about done. I just could do with putting some more black lines on the orange stripes, I think, and then he should be done. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Let's add a little bit of a white highlight to the nails. I think it just is a nice touch. Thanks for watching me make Cringer, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you have a go at making it yourself, and let me know if you want to see more He-Man themed tutorials on here.